Let us start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevayam Bhavatya Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjane Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tada Siva Padandikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanashute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavade Paschitaya Deshadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to all of you. I welcome you all to this morning Bhagavadham session. It's a wonderful association, and daily we are connecting here and able to do Shravan from our Mathaji, Prema Mathaji. Okay, so let us go to this sloka. Today we will see from 38 to 41, it will, how the time permits, based on that we'll take it. So here, as we are seeing, yesterday also Mathaji was telling, these are all calculations and how actually this universe has been created by the Supreme Lord, and he has given the powers to the respective devatas actually, and how it has been maintained, and how the inhabitants of the respective that is dvipas, they are actually performing the prayers to the particular devata in the form of the, that is indirectly they are worshipping the Supreme Lord actually. So they are doing the meditation actually. So here one thing we have to know. So when we started reading Bhagavatam is where we cannot differentiate the Lord himself. We are seeing the Bhagavatam in the form, that is the Lord in the form of Bhagavatam. So the actually Lord is so much is that when we are totally surrendered and then so much involved, that means the way of reading the Bhagavatam should be more attentive and submissive. This, if one develops the mood to recite Bhagavatam, Krishna has already entered their hearts actually. So this is how we will be able to have the association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here we are reading so many things that past 2-3 chapters we have been passing through. We read about Jambudviva and 9 different versas of Jambudviva, and then specific to that versa, there what is this? What are the mountains, rivers, and the tree? All those things we studied in the previous chapter, and totally 7. Wherein the Priyavarta created 7 different islands. In that, he gave every island to one of his sons. And in this chapter, 20th chapter, we are studying about the remaining 6 islands actually, dvipas. Okay, and the 6 sons individually have their own 7 sons, and they again split up. And then the last one, yesterday, whatever Mataji was doing was the Pushkar Deep, correct? Na? The Pushkar Deep being surrounded with the sweet water actually, and after that we studied which is being surrounded by what actually? The golden land, correct na? So wherein Loka Aloka mountains being the separation from the Aloka Varsha. So, and after that, it will be a space kind of thing. This is what yesterday Mataji explained to us. And if any other understanding, actually, please let me know. So, this is what we have studied yesterday. So, now we are going to continue that Aloka, Aloka, mountains, and the Aloka Varsha, all those things from the upcoming slokas, we are going to continue that. Wherein, can anyone come forward and speak out? Do we really able to keep everything in our mind, this many yojanas, like that? So is it very mandatory to, this is how actually it has been created. So this information has been given by Sukadeva Goswami to Parishit Maharaj. So he is in the last 37 days, he's been left out for Parishit Maharaj to leave this world actually. So in that mood, so when a person, yesterday Mataji was also asking, are we in the mood to listen this type of mathematical calculations and how this universe has been, this Brahmanda has been created, all those things? Certainly, a person will not be in the mood actually, but it depends, varies from the person to person also. How much inclination towards that, all those things also depends actually. Correct now? So that inclination is always related to what? The devotional service. So what are the byproducts of the byproducts of the bhakti? Can anyone think and come back actually? What are the byproducts actually? See, one will be perceiving in a different ways. Okay, whereas bhakti is the ultimate. We have been studying. So what Bhagavad Gita preaches us and what Bhagavadham preaches us actually. So it's ultimately a bhakti only. Correct now? So bhakti, when we perform the devotional service, obviously the purification starts for us, and then that will help us to leave the that is attachment towards the material things actually. So that is very, very required for any living entity here, so that he can go back to his original constitutional position of the jiva, and which in turn will help to go back to the Godhead. So ultimately, so material things are always giving the attachment, bondage, and still we have to perform the material activities. We cannot avoid. Correct? So when we are performing the material activities, what should be the mood? That is very, very important. So one should be in the mood. That means performing it as a devotional service to the Lord. It is the will of the Lord that determines. That means you need to be more determined and then think that this as a, that swadharma as the, or that is the occupational duty of oneself is performed in the mood of the devotional service. So in that way, one will get liberated from the attachment from the material things actually. So the inclination on the outcomes of the material things, all those things will get. So we'll be able to perform in a perfection way. Even the material activities as a duty we have to perform, that will be done in a very perfect way. So these verses, whatever we are reading in this entire chapter, will be more mathematical only. And do we need so much of that is thought process on this mathematical? Can anyone give your insight on that? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Whether you are able to understand my question. So what are the, first of all, what are the byproducts of the bhakti? Can anyone give that?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Byproduct of bhakti, as we have read Mataji, the byproduct of bhakti is knowledge and detachment.
Correct. Very nice. Correct. Very nice, Mataji. Yes, that detachment is that comes from the determination. Correct now? See, karma and jnana, these two are different paths, wherein ultimately if one culminates in the bhakti only, they will get they can go back, minimum level they can go back to the Godhead actually. Correct now? Wherein the byproducts is if you are cultivating bhakti, obviously the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Paramatma form in the heart of everyone, he gives the knowledge actually, and he gives how to become perfection, right, in performing the bhakti. So that is very, very important. These two are the byproducts actually. Very nicely told. Thank you very much, Mataji. So these two things one must cultivate. Only by developing the jnana, we will not attain the perfection. That will lead to speculation only. And only by performing the karma, so we will be inclined towards the fruitive activities. These both will be like bonding only here. The 100% detachment we will not get actually. So one must, if one performs of the bhakti, which is the sweet part, like how Bhagavad Gita has been spoken, like karma, bhakti and jnana. So the bhakti is being encapsulated between the, what is that, the karma and the jnana. It has to be, it is well preserved, we can tell. Because like how a jewel in a box, this example has been quoted actually by Srila Prabhupada. So the jewel will be kept, like the lid of the that box will be like the upper lid and lower lid will be there. Internally in the box we keep the jewel. That's how the bhakti is actually. So it will be, it will give us more, that means inclination, more devotion, more determination, so that this karma also will become perfection, and even the jnana also will become perfection. So we'll be able to understand the right things in the right way. So this is how actually one becomes perfection. So here Sukadeva Goswami is speaking in the numerical calculations way, how actually each and every island, the width of the island, which is double than the surrounding respective waters, like liquor, like yogurt, like milk. Kroncha Deepa being surrounded by the milk, and then the next Deepa is what is that Deepa? Kusha Deepa. Is it Kusha Deepa? So I'm not able to recollect. That is surrounded by the yogurt, and then now yesterday Pushkar Deepa. So in that only two kids he had, and then he gave that responsibility to two of his kids, dividing into two, and then it has been surrounded by the sweet water, correct? And the next is the golden land, wherein the reflection of the sun falling on that and the gold, anything which falls on that golden land will not be perceived actually. So that's the reason the inhabitants is not there. That's what spoken by our Mataji also yesterday, and it has been from the purpose also we have read actually. So like that, we are now going into the yojanas. See, these measurements, calculations, all those things are meant for only to gain the knowledge to how actually the universe has been created. All those things we are realizing. Even the scientifically in modern days, we will not be able to prove this. It cannot be proved. The Vedic system is so strong, and then the creation of the that is this universes has been it's been done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can able to go exactly perform the things what it has been mentioned in the Vedas. It's not provable by the scientific. That means we cannot do that actually. That's how actually the science cannot prove everything. So these yojanas are meant to know, basically to acquire the knowledge and how actually the creation. So let us start meditation on that actually, and then how actually this universe has been created, and then how much the opulent, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we being the sparks of the Supreme Personality of, we are the part and parcel of Him. Sometimes we also will excel in certain things, like we may be very opulent in a like Bill Gates and all. We may be opulent, and then we may be in the beauty also. Sometimes we will be whatever endeavor we are doing. So we will be able to achieve certain things in our life. Like I can be a topper in a class. So all these things in a speech also, we'll be able to attract people. So this all the higher quality things, whatever we visualize in the living entities, we may be excelling in one particular thing, but those are all the that is where we can identify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His nature actually. His nature we are able to see, we will be able to visualize. So when in the spark only we are able to visualize this much means, we cannot imagine how much the splendor actually, or magnanimous, our supreme personality, Godhead. So here we have to read Bhagavatam in that mood, and then we have to visualize that this much Brahmanda has been, this much size Brahmanda has been created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that should be the mood, not only knowing the how actually the physical structure of this Brahmanda is. Physical structure of Brahmanda is a mathematical calculation wherein Lord can create even more than that also. But this gives the insight how much, how actually the Lord has created and He has given us. So nothing we are able to do here without His support. Without the presence of Paramatma internally, we will not be able to do anything here. So totally we are dependent. Totally dependent it is. It's 100 out of 100 dependent actually we are. So that's how the mood we need to develop here. So I will read for the 2-3 slokas, and then I will tell where actually you can take up so that everyone can recite the sloka. So etha valoka vinyasho mana lakshana samstabir vichintitha kavibihi sathu panchasat koti ganitasya bhugologasya turiya bhago hayam loka aloka chalaha. Synonyms. Etavan, this much. Loka Vinayasha, the placing of different planets. Manaha, with measurements. Lakshana, symptoms. Samsthabihi, as well as with their different situations. Vichintitaha, established by scientific calculations. Kavibihi, by learned scholars. Saha, that too, but Panchasat Koti, 500 lakhs yojanas. Ganitasya, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, which is measured at Bhugolasya of the planetary system known as Bhugolaha. Turiya Baha, 1/4. I am this Loka Aloka Achalaha, the mountain known as Loka Aloka. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Learned scholars who are free from mistakes, illusions, and propensities to cheat have thus described the planetary system and their particular symptoms, measurements, and locations. Now, here Sukadeva Goswami is reciting this to Parishit Maharaj. So he knows that. He knows that he being free from the illusion, he has been a liberated personality, being a pure devotee. He is giving all the measurements and locations. With great deliberation, they have established the truth that the distance between the Sumeru being the center point, correct na? And the mountain known as Loka Aloka, that means that the center point of Sumeru and to the Loka Aloka is 1/4 of the diameter of the universe. What is the diameter of the universe? In that it is 1/4, or in other words, it is 125 that is millions yojanas, that is 1 billion miles it is. If you multiply by 8 now, so 1 yojana is 8 miles. If you multiply that, you will get a 1 billion miles. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura has given accurate astronomical information about the location of Loka Aloka mountain, the movements of the sun globe, and the distance between the sun and the circumference of the universe. So, however, the technical terms used in the astronomical calculation given by the Jyotir Veda are difficult to translate to English. Therefore, to satisfy the reader, we may include the exact Sanskrit statement given by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura, which records exact calculation regarding universal affairs. So the measurements, so it is not as per the Jyotishalaya. Even if you go for an astrologer calculating one's horoscope and then Desha Bhuktis, and then internally they have that is small portions and all. Okay, it takes for this particular Rashi and this particular transition. For example, if you are undergoing, there are 12 12 planetary systems, correct? Now in the 12, so in the, sorry, like Mesha, Rishabh, till to Meena, you have 27, that is nakshatras being split up, 2.25 nakshatras actually per Rasi. Like that, the calculation, for example, for the calculation purpose only I'm telling this. And every Dashabhukti, that is, we'll having certain number of years, and internally it has every that is in a particular Dashabhukti, we'll have all the grahas having their turns actually. And even in the minute calculations, like within months also they will calculate. It's not easy. Jyotirveda is very difficult to do all those things. A person who is well versed and then who have been trained or who have learned, who have become a scholar in that, will be able to do that actually, that calculation. It is very difficult to learn actually. And then here, that is converting those things in the form of the distance, and then with respect to the that is our level, that means the base level, it is very, very tough. And hence, to satisfy the reader, here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, because we also should get understanding, correct? Na? So that the Sanskrit statement is being given by Srila Vishwanatha, the great Acharya. He has given the exact calculations in the below sloka. Satu loka alokastu bhuya golokashya bhu sambandha sambandhananda golokashyetati artha suryasya eva bhuvo api anda golokair madhya vartitavat bhagolom iva bhugolam api panchasat koti yajna yojanas koti yojana paramanam tasya turiya bhaga sardha dvadasha koti dvadasha means 12. So that's what there the calculations actually. So dvadasha koti yojana vistarocharya iti artha bushtu chatustiri trim sallakshona panchashat koti pramana nyeya yatha meru madhyan, that is the central part of the Sumeru. Manas sotra madhya paryantam sharda sapta panchasal sabda, that means 7. Okay, so lakshotra koti yojana paramam manas sotra madhya swadu dhaka samudra paryantam sannavita laksha yojana paramam tatha kanchanani bhumi. Kanchana means the gold, that is the gold land. Sarda sapta panchashal lakshostara koti yojana pramana evam ekato meru loka lokoyar antaralam ekadasha sal laka sadika chatush koti parimitam anyato api tatat yeto loka aloka loka paryantam sthanam dvavimsati lokaso tatrasta koti parimitam loka alokat bahir api ekata etavat eva anyatopi etavat eva yat vakshayet yo antar vistara etana he aloka parimanam cha vyakayatham yadbhaktir loka aloka chalat iti ekato loka aloka sarda dvadasha koti yochana parimanaha antayo api sa tateti evam chatustri trinsal sa loka shano panchashasha chat koti pramana buhu sabdihi dvipa parvatha nyeya atha evanda golokat sarvato dikshu shaptadasha lakshaya yojana vakshase vartamane sati prithivya sheshanagena dharanam dikgajas. So now yesterday we saw there 4, that is 8, that is north, south, east, west, northeast, southwest, like that the Ashtadiks. So the gajas. So here on the 4 directions, gajas, that means 4 Gajendra has been has been created actually. So gajas for the security point of view actually. Nischali Karanam Sartakam Bhavet Antaya tu Vyaka Vyakyantare Panchasat Koti Pramanatvat Anda Goloka Lagnatve Tat Tat Sarvam Akinchit Karam Shyat Chakshushe Manmantre Shakshmat Majjanam Shri Paraha Devenotapanam Cha Durgatam Shyat iti adhikam vivechaniyam. So the entire whatever we have studied till now, and then how actually this universe, yesterday Mataji was showing second. One pictorial representation. Oh, actually it was. One second. That is from ISKCON Truth. This is the Vedic cosmology. One second. This also we read. Mataji was doing. This is how the Saptadiva Islands actually, the Jambu. Here the center point, sorry, to this, what is that fresh thing actually. After this freshwater thing, we have a, what is that, it has. Divisions of Bhumandala. So all these things we have studied here, the yojanas, like Jambudviva being 1 lakh. So the double of that is the Plakshadipa, 2 lakhs. And then double of Plakshadipa will be 4, that is surrounded by the liquor. And then Kushadipa will be the double, the width of the Salmal Dvipa, that is 8 lakhs. And then Kraunchadipa is double the width of that, what is the width in the yojanas actually. Kushadipa, it will be 8 lakhs. So it will be Kraunchadipa is 16 lakhs. Even Sakadvipa is 32, and then Pushkara Dipa is 64. Like that, after this, the clear water, we have the golden land, and then golden land and the Aloka Vasha being separated by the, what is that, Loka Aloka mountain. So this is how actually till yesterday we have read actually. Okay. This is what yesterday Mataji was speaking. And second, are you able to see this? So this is sweet drinking water, and then after that the golden island. So this width, this will be double than this actually. Generally, the surrounding will be like a double, and then the more than that, the this width will be here, will be retained in the next what is that layer. So here this is the mountain, Loka Aloka mountain, and after that there will be a Aloka Varsha, and after that the space is mentioned actually. Okay, this is how actually the division happens. The same thing has been spoken here in this purport actually. So I may not, I don't know much of this this Sanskrit thing, but overall few places I am able to understand. So how actually whatever it has been spoken in the purports, the same thing has been recited here by that is, it has been given by the great Acharya Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura. So Yes, next is yes, Chitra Mohini Mataji. Please recite Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shloka 39 no Mataji.
Yes, yes, yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tat Uparishvat Chatsrupa Ashus Atma Yonina Akila Jagat Guruna Adiniveshitaye Dvira Dapataya Rushabha Pushkara Chuda Vamano Aparajita Iti Sakala Lokastiti Etavaha. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Mata. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes. On the top of that mountain, Loka Aloka, as I spoken, that is on the 4 north, east, west, and south directions, 4 Gajapatis, that is in the form of elephant actually. So best of the elephant has been established actually, the 4 directions for the security purpose actually. Yes, Mataji, Madhumai Krishnakant Mataji, please recite.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tad Uparistat Chatasrishu Ashasu Atmayonina Akila Jagat Guruna Adhiniveshitaha Ye Dviradapataya Rushabhaha Pushkarachudo Vamano Aparajita iti Sakala Lokastiti Hetavaha. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Subbarao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shall I read the translation or what?
No. Okay, synonyms
Vakya?
you read, Prabhu. I thought all recite this sloka, I thought actually. So that we'll conclude only for this sloka. Already we have spoken about that. So
39th sloka, synonyms.
yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tat Uparistat, on the top of Loka mountain, Cheta Sushu Asausu, in the 4 directions, Atma Yonid, by Lord Brahma, Akhila Jagat Guruna, the spiritual master of whole universe, Adhiniveshitaha, established, ye, all those, Dvirada Patayaha, the best of elephants, Rishabha, Pushkara Chudaha, Vamana, Aparajita, iti, thus, Sakala Lokastiti Hetavaha, the causes of the maintenance of the different planets within the universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. On the top of the Loka Aloka mountain, that is after the Golden Land, there is a Loka Aloka. There are 4 4 Gajapatis, that is which has been created, and they have been established actually. The best of elephants, which were established in the 4 directions, north, west, east, and south. So by Lord Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of the entire universe. So that means under the supervision of the Brahma, the creation happens, the secondary creation happens here. So in that way, he has created and established the 4 Gajapatis there. The names of those elephants are Rishabha, Pushkara Chuda, Vamana, and Aparajita. So what is the responsibility they are holding? Actually, everything, whatever it has been created in the secondary creation has some responsibilities. So we living beings also have some responsibilities, like our primary responsibility being taking the devotional service. They are responsible for maintaining the planetary system of the universe. So there are, 14, that is 3 lokas. That means upper planetary system, Bholoka, and then the lower planetary system. These 3 lokas, they are actually responsible for maintaining. These 4 Gajapatis are responsible. Yes. Pushpa Mataji, please recite this sloka. Hare Krishna. 40th sloka. Tesham sva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Pranams Mataji.
Bhagavade Vasudevaya Desam Vibhudina Loka Balanam Sa Vivida Viryo Hanaya Bhagavan Parama Mahapurusho Mahavibhudi Padir Andaryami Atmano Vishuddha Sattvam Dharmayana Vairagyaiశ్వర్యాది Astamahasiddhi Upalachanam Vishavachenadipadi Swaparshada Pravraihi Parivarito Tasmin Girivare Samandat Sahala Loka Swastaya Aste. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Madhumai Vilasini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी
Dandvat Pranam.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तेषां स्वविभूतीनां लोकपालानां च विविधवीर्य उपवृन्दाय भगवान् परं महापुरुषः महाविभूतिपतिः अन्तर्यामी आत्मनः विशुद्धसत्त्वं धर्मज्ञानवैराग्ये अष्टमहासिद्धि उपलक्षणं विश्वक्सेन आदिभिः स्वपार्षदप्रवरे परिवारितः निजवराय युधोपशोभितः निर्जभुजदण्डे सन्धारयमाणस्ततस्मिन् गिरिवरे समान्तत सकललोकस्वस्तय आस्ते. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Prana Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Tesam Svabhibhutinam Lokapalanam Cha Vividha Virya Upabrahmanaya Bhagavan Parama Mahapurusha Mahavibhutipatihi Antaryami Atmanaha Visuddha Sattvam Dharma Jnana Vairagya Aishwarya Adi Astamahasiddhi Upalakshanam Vishwaksena Adivi Swaparsada Pravare Parivaritaha Nijavara Ayudha Upasovitaha Te Puja Dande Sandharya Manaha Tasmin Giri Pare Samantata Sakala Loka Swaste Aste. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Usha Dayavati Mataji, can you recite synonyms Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Om Namo
Pranams.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Synonyms: Tesham, all of them. Swa Vibhudinam, who are his personal expansions and assistants. Lokapalanam, who are entrusted with looking after the universal affairs. Cha and Vivida, varieties. Viryopa Brahmanaya, for expanding the powers. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parama Mahapurusha, the foremost master of all kinds of opulence, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahavibhudipati, the master of all inconceivable potencies. Antaryami, the super soul. Atmana, of himself. Vishuddha Sattvam, having an existence without contamination by the material modes of nature. Dharmayana Vairagya, of religion, pure knowledge and renunciation. Aishwarya Adi, of all kinds of opulence. Ashta, with 8, Mahasiddhi, and of great mystic perfections. Upalakshanam, having the characteristics. Vishwakshena Adibi, by its expansion known as Vishwakshena and others. Swapasada Paravarai, the best of personal assistants. Parivartaha, surrounded. Nija, his own. Vara Ayudha, by different types of weapons. Upashobhita, being decorated. Nija, own. Bhuja, Dandai, with stout arms, Sandar Yamana, manifesting this form, Tasmin, on that Girivare, great mountain, Samantat, all around, Sakala Loka Savastaye, for the benefit of all the planetary system as they exist. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this sloka gives the wonderful characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, wherein one must meditate actually. So how actually the universe has been created and the secondary creation has been happening, and then the respective devatas being created, and then they have given the responsibility of taking care of all this entire unit planetary system. That's how actually this planetary system has been created. So when we start meditating on that, when we'll be able to understand how much the opulent, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are the very wonderful words actually. Parama Mahapurusha. Okay, that is first in Antaryami. So he being so much opulent also, he's still inside ourself also as a supreme soul actually, the super soul, Paramatma. So Swayam, that means even sometimes Atmaha, Atmanaha, so himself, Vishuddha Sattvam, that means a living entity can attain a Suddha Sattvam by performing the devotional service, whereas not even a 1% tinge of a material also. There is nothing without contamination by the material modes, nirgun. So the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is being very nicely has been expressed here, and then one should meditate upon by thinking all these characteristics. Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya. So dharma means the prescribed duties. One's own prescribed. Dharma means the religion. The religion defines what actually. It always guides the living entity for the one's own duty, like based on the varnas. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So based on their varnas, they'll be given, they have to take care of their one's own duties. And then Jnana means the pure knowledge. That means what is the matter, what is the spirit, how actually we are being related here by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the true knowledge one should understand actually. And the Vairagya means the renunciation. So the renunciation is like renouncing the material. And one should renounce this renunciation also. So that will be given topmost actually. That means one should not think about the renunciation itself. One should totally be observed and immersed in the Bhakti Bhava. So that is the highest of the perfection actually. Upalakshanam, having the characters, Vishwakshena. So the Supreme Lord has created Vishwakshena by his expansion. Even if you go to Tirupati, I think you can see near that, what is that, Swargadwara, that there one name it's been mentioned like the Vishwakshena actually. So you can see that actually. When you're going next time, you can observe. That means his own expansion. So and others. So Prasada Pravarihai, that is the best of the personal assistant. That means how much the opulent, even the assistants will be having, and why that much opulence or whatever the powers has been given, the energy has been given for them is to maintain this universe. To maintain. The entire universe is being maintained by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is how we have studied in Bhagavad Gita many places by my one, that is one my spark only this universe has been maintained like that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here the Vishwakshena and others has been given so much powers, strength or energy, whatever it may be. So they are maintaining these universes. But for Supreme Personality of Godhead, that energy is like a spark. In 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita, we would have studied actually. If we go and check in the slokas, the very beginning slokas only, it is very clearly given and it has been spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are all the characteristics one must always keep in the mind. So we all get distracted when we are performing Nama Japa or performing some Shravanam or Kirtanam. We all get distracted. But when one meditates on these characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will not be distraction. So one must cultivate. Here we are learning from the pure devotee. So from Srila Prabhupada's translation, and we need to observe actually. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master of all transcendental. He is the master of all transcendental opulences. And the master and master of the spiritual sky. Everything is the master. That we need to understand. He is the supreme person. We are hearing from Srila Prabhupada here. So one must accept that, and then one must, that means that we need to realize that actually. So everyone, the demigods led by Indra, the king of heaven, are interested with seeing to the affairs of the material world. So all devatas, example like how I have spoken earlier also in astrology, that is in Jyotisa we have 9 grahas actually and 12 rashis, how actually they are managing us. So everything is interrelated. So we all, and how actually that astrology is based on our karmic, previous janmas karmic reactions, we are getting a certain grahas being situated, and then we are not understanding why these graha has been situated here on that particular time, calculations, all those things. Everything is interrelated. Now we can understand how much opulent, how much we will not be able to imagine about the opulence or the magnanimous of the Supreme Personality of Godhead here. So in all the varied planets, and to increase the power of those elephants and of the demigods, so they have been given the powers. The Lord manifests himself on the top of that mountain in a spiritual body, that is Vishuddha Sattvam, uncontaminated by the modes of the material nature. So how actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all that is Bhumi, Apa, Analo, Vayu, everything, all the 8 things which has been the material energies which has been separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then still he only holds, he only controls everything. Here we can visualize that actually. So he manifests on the top of the Loka Aloka. So in a spiritual body, which is in the uncontaminated. So Lord doesn't have the material body. So one should realize that actually. Uncontaminated. In first canto, 18th chapter, if you recite a few slokas, how actually the meditation is happening. So that how Parishit Maharaj realizes actually he has been saved, and now he has to accept the, that is in the 7 days he has to leave this world. He is accepting that is also as a will of the Lord. So he is meditating. So how actually the spiritual body, Lord never comes in the material form, never comes in the, he doesn't have material body. All those meditation he does actually in the purpose Srila Prabhupada has given very nicely. So one should meditate on that. So top of the, in a spiritual body, uncontaminated by the modes of the material nature, surrounded by his personal expansions and assistants like Vishwakshena, he exhibits all his perfect opulence as such. He exhibits. So, and such as religion, knowledge, and his mystic mystic 88 power, 8 mystic powers like Anima, Lagima, so Mahima. He can become smallest of the smallest. He can become he can be the biggest of the biggest. He can do, that means anywhere he can go in any form. So like that, he has all 8 mystic powers. He is beautifully situated and he is decorated by the different weapons in his 4 hands. Okay, 4 hands. So we know actually the 4 weapons. That means like in his hands, like Chanku, Chakra. Chanku is not a weapon. That is used for the blowing. Chakra, Sudarshan Chakra and Gada. So Kamal, everything we have studied in the 4 hands of the Supreme Personality of God. Let us meditate, continue to meditate this tomorrow by continuing the 40. And whoever didn't recite today, please take advantage tomorrow and then you recite for the 40, that is 41 sloka matajis tomorrow. Okay, so let us stop here, and then I've taken more time today. Hare Krishna. Sorry, apology for that. Panchakalpadarubhyasya kripa sindhu pyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare